Due to the fact that he is a mysterious lone wolf, you will often have a hard time realizing who a Sigma male actually is. They are the men who live their own lives, far away from social circles, men who dance to the beat of their own drums, without ever listening to someone else. However, there are some telltale signs common for all men belonging to this personality type. Although they are very introverted and avoid every kind of communication with people they don't like, some Sigmas might find you intriguing enough to let you see who they really are. 19 Traits of a Sigma Male. Independence. If you thought that he cared about your opinion or that he actually needed you in his life, you thought wrong. He is so dominant that he refuses to be influenced by anyone or anything and always does things his own way. Men belonging to this type refuse to be bound by tradition and the expectations of others. They have their own thing and aren't bothered with social hierarchy. They don't care about fitting in with any social structures, don't let anyone change them, and are everything but people pleasers. Sigma men are loners who don't need anyone to give their lives meaning. The truth is that this guy is a lone wolf who can make it on his own, no matter what happens to him. Introspection. A Sigma man knows himself extremely well. Instead of mingling different social circles, he spends a lot of time analyzing his personality and the world around him, so he rarely makes a decision without thinking it through very thoroughly. Men of this type will never get drawn into drama because they are overthinkers who know how to handle situations. They live their own lives inside their heads and always work on self-improvement. Don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that a Sigma man will never make the wrong choice because he is also a human being who makes mistakes. However, the difference between him and everyone else is that a Sigma man always learns from his failures and doesn't have the habit of repeating them over and over again. Silence. These men are not big talkers, so they probably won't impress you right away. A Sigma male is not the one who will shower you with compliments, the one who will engage in much small talk, or the one who will use empty phrases just to keep the conversation going. However, this doesn't mean he doesn't have anything to say or that his communication skills are poor. Sigma men are introverts, and they won't talk just to fill the silence or to be noticed in the crowd. Nevertheless, if this guy starts addressing you or talking about something, prepare yourself to be mind-blown and flattered because you definitely intrigued him. Beware of the fact that everything a Sigma male tells you has a deeper meaning and is not without a reason. Take him seriously because he never opens his mouth just for the sake of doing it. He will take his time to think through what he's going to say next, so don't rush him into speaking his mind, but be prepared for an awesome response. Also, don't ever confuse his silence with shyness, he simply couldn't be bothered to talk. Intelligence. Two of the best personality traits of a Sigma male are his incredibly high IQ and his wit, which come from his constant desire for self-improvement. These people are usually educated, well-informed, and naturally intelligent. They are experts in analyzing things, people, and experiences, and learning from them. The Sigma male will most probably ask questions if he's interested in a certain topic, and he won't hesitate to find the answer to something he's concerned about. They are quick learners and always curious about the world around them. Most Sigma males have the INTJ personality type and aren't really popular for their social skills but rather for their brains. Troublemaking. Even though his introverted side might make him look this way, a Sigma male is not the nice guy from around the corner who lives his life by the rules and does everything by the book. Instead, he is actually a bad boy and a rebel in disguise who doesn't follow the social hierarchy. These men are usually on the other side of the morally grayscale and sometimes, even on the other side of the law. They often get into trouble, and they don't even see anything wrong with that. The truth is that these appearing nice guys actually find it fun to challenge everyone's moral principles. In a Sigma male's mind, no rules apply to him, and he is under no obligation whatsoever to respect and obey them. Loners. This guy doesn't have the ambition to blend in, nor does he want to stand out in the crowd or be dominant in social situations. He doesn't follow trends and despises popularity. Even though some might think a man like him has no close friends, the truth is actually different. He likes to socialize only with the ones who understand him, and he isn't ready to waste his time, energy, and effort on friendships that have an expiration date. No matter how close friends you are with this guy and how important he finds you, a Sigma man values privacy more than anything, and he always needs some time away from the rest of the world, time to organize his thoughts and feelings, without others interfering. Capability. Another personality trait of most Sigma men is that they are professional caretakers and saviors. These are the people you can always count on, no matter what, and the people who will drag you out of your worst nightmare. For this type, everything is possible. He is not a quitter and someone who gives up after the first obstacle or minor inconvenience. Instead, a Sigma man will always accomplish everything he set his mind on. He knows how to take care of his family and himself because of the fact that he is very capable. He is the person you need to go to when you have had a bad day or when you don't know how to fix a problem. The guy you call when you have trouble organizing something or when you need something fixed around the house. A guy whose advice you want to listen to and a guy who always turns out to be right. A guy who won't leave you hanging even if you call him in the middle of the night because you have a flat tire, a family emergency, or need a loan. He probably won't be happy that you are disturbing him, but he will help you, no questions asked. Charisma. One of the most appealing Sigma male personality traits is without a doubt his charisma. This characteristic isn't natural for a Sigma, but with time, his high intelligence has made him realize that his introverted side can't help him learn more about people. So he's developed his social skills and his charisma to the point where he can hold the attention of a full room just by talking, when he wants to do it. His charisma comes from his confidence and the way he looks at himself. He uses the empathy of his introverted personality to connect with people at a higher level. Confidence. Different from the alpha male who is a dominant extrovert, making sure everyone knows how amazing he is, the Sigma male is a dominant introvert. He doesn't need to be loud and show everyone his power just to feel better about himself. It's enough for him to know how much worth he actually has. The Sigma male doesn't feel the need to convince anyone of his abilities or prove to them that he will achieve his goals. His self-esteem doesn't come from social media, other people's opinions, or approval. In fact, his sense of self-worth comes from within, which makes his confidence almost unbreakable. Sigma men only listen to the beat of their own drums, so you can't take them down or make them feel like they're not enough. Attractiveness. Each one of these personality traits of a Sigma male makes him extremely able to attract women. The truth is that most girls see their bad boy, mysterious and self-sufficient natures as a challenge. They want to get to the bottom of their personalities and get to know the real guys hiding behind these masks. Nevertheless, Sigma men don't play hard to get, they really are hard to get. Actually, these guys hardly let anyone near them. This man doesn't chase women, nor does he have the habit of jumping from one bed to another. Instead, in most cases, girls are the ones who approach him, trying to figure him out. Leadership skills. When you think about leadership, you think about alphas on the head of the wolf pack. Well, that's where you're wrong. Yes, alphas are usually the ones who get most of the credit, but trust me, Sigmas are the ones who get most of the job done. This man is actually a born leader, he just doesn't have the need to show this side of his to the rest of the world. It's not something he craves being. Every Sigma has these inborn talents to always be the head of the crowd. Besides, what is even more important is that people tend to listen to him. They follow his guidance without asking a lot of questions. Is this Sigma's charisma? Or does everyone trust them because it's more than obvious they know exactly what they're doing? I think it's the combination of both. Either way, the bottom line is that a male Sigma is always a silent leader. He doesn't need others praising him, nor does he enjoy the title of the chief. On the other hand, he is incapable of avoiding that reputation. It's like this with his friends, it happened back in school and is especially the case when it comes to his career. A Sigma hates taking orders, and that's why he doesn't function very well as long as he has a boss telling him what to do. In order to avoid constant confrontations, or having to suffocate his true nature, Sigma usually becomes self-employed. Adaptability. Some might call him a hypocrite who doesn't stand his ground, but a Sigma is everything except that. Nevertheless, the truth is that a guy like him is extremely adaptable. But don't see him as a chameleon who is ready to change his opinion or entire personality according to the situation. Instead, think of him like a cat with 7 lives. Of course, let's not forget that cats always land on their feet. That's what I'm talking about when I mention this Sigma's trait. You can leave him by himself in the middle of nowhere, but he'll still find a way back home. He has this amazing ability to adjust to new conditions and situations. Also, he can get along with different types of people. Also, let's not forget how versatile this guy is. He has numerous skills, and that's exactly what makes him this adaptable. Prioritizing himself. People often accuse Sigmas of being egocentric. Even though they might appear this way at first, when you get to know them, you see that they're not selfish. A Sigma always puts himself first, that's true. But when you come to think about it, this is actually a good thing, isn't it? Their comfort and well-being are a priority. A Sigma won't do something he doesn't want just to please others, nor will he hurt himself for someone else's sake. This guy isn't ready to sacrifice his own happiness to make you feel better. Even if he loves you to the moon and back, he'll always love himself more. A Sigma values all relationships in his life, including romantic ones. Nevertheless, he is also perfectly aware that the most important relationship is the one he has with himself. His own set of values. Once again, let's not forget that this guy doesn't follow anyone's rules. He won't consider something morally acceptable just because most people around him do. Being extremely intelligent, a Sigma always questions everything, especially the attitudes imposed on them. Don't expect to change his opinion regarding a certain matter without some strong arguments that back up your thesis. We're talking about a man who doesn't need anyone's validation. Therefore, he'll stick to his opinion, even if he's the only one defending it. This is also one of the reasons why he has the reputation of a rebel. He doesn't care about the law or authority. A Sigma is smart enough to differentiate right from wrong without anyone's help. Reliability. If you're friends with a Sigma guy, you can consider yourself lucky. He is one of those people who will never turn their backs on the ones they love. You can bet on one thing, Sigma's reliability. No matter what you do and what happens, this is someone you can count on. This is especially true if he becomes your boyfriend. He is simply a ride or die kind of a guy who doesn't leave people hanging. Besides, your darkest secrets will be safe with him. First of all, he's struggling with his own demons and he's made his share of mistakes. So he's the last person to judge you for something you did wrong. Besides, he is exceptionally good at keeping things to himself, which makes him extremely trustworthy. Risk-taking. A Sigma is not a guy who plays it safe. Enjoying his comfort is one thing, that's something he does. But being afraid to step out of his comfort zone is not a Sigma trait. On the contrary, he is not a coward and doesn't allow fear to lead him through life. This man is courageous and isn't scared of taking risks. When he believes that something is right, he'll pursue it, no matter the possible consequences. You know how they say, he who doesn't risk, never gets to drink champagne. That is Sigma's life motto. He prefers to regret his bad choices than the chances he lost. This man is a fighter for freedom. He is ready to do whatever it takes, and it comes to standing up for what he believes in. Strength of character. All of this implies that every Sigma has an incredibly strong character. Don't ever think of playing him around, because if he cuts you out of his life, there is no coming back. This doesn't mean that he has no emotions. He has a big heart but just doesn't allow his emotions to turn into a weakness. When he makes up his mind about something, there is nothing and nobody that could make him change his decisions. You can try begging, manipulating, and different other tactics, nothing will work. Also, be aware that this man can't be easily broken. He's been through a lot, but you can never tell that by his behavior. His pride will never let him lament over his sad destiny, no matter what he goes through. You can break his heart, but he'll never show you his sadness. Instead, he'll always get up stronger after every defeat. He is one of those people who have the ability to go through hell and come back more powerful than ever. This is a macho guy who considers crying and complaining humiliating. If you're not one of his closest people, you'll think that everything is going great in his life, even when he is falling apart from the inside. Some might say that he bottles up his emotions, and that wouldn't be far from the truth. The fact is that he doesn't appear as the most sensitive person on the planet. Nevertheless, he doesn't run away from his feelings and represses them, he just hides them from the rest of the world. Being too emotional simply doesn't fit with his personality. Self-awareness. A Sigma is always self-aware. He does a lot of introspection and self-analyzing. Actually, at some point, he overdoes it and engages in a lot of overthinking. He dissects every word he says and every move he makes. But unlike beta males, that doesn't make him insecure. He just wants to know all of his weaknesses and strong points, so he can work on better himself. This guy is perfectly aware of all of his good qualities as well as his flaws, even if he probably won't admit it to anyone. But this awareness applies to the entire world around him, as well. It means that he'll read right through you and see all of your good and bad sides also. When this man is with you, he doesn't fall in love with your potential. He doesn't idealize you, and there is no need for you to pretend to be someone you're not. He values honesty and truth over everything. He doesn't look at life through rose-tinted glasses, so don't think about lying to him for his own good. Another thing you should avoid due to his self-awareness is giving him too many unrealistic compliments. Trust me, he'll know that you're lying and he'll appreciate you less. Persistency. It's your choice whether you'll call this man stubborn or persistent, and whether you'll see this quality of his as a good or bad side. Either way, the point is that he is not a fan of giving up. He considers giving up a failure. If he's put his mind onto something, he'll get it done, no matter what. This is an all-or-nothing kind of a guy. He keeps on going despite all the obstacles, which is another sign of his strength. He is determined not to change his attitude, even if it means going against the flow, especially if it means going against the flow. This is not the kind of a man who goes whichever way the wind blows.